Hello, welcome to Surfing Your Edge. I am Kristine Goad, your Surfing Your Edge coach, and today I am here with Lianna Gardner, who you are going to absolutely adore. I absolutely promise. She is the founder of Got Next, GOT NXT. She's a founder of Got Next Transformational Coaching, and she's a personal change catalyst, helping people transform their lives by empowering them to tap into their unique superpowers to find greater passion, meaning, and fulfillment. And I am so glad to have you with me today, Lianna. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, and it is a pleasure, as always, to be here with
This is,
you. I thank you.
oh, um, this is our second conversation together, but the first one where we have Lianna and camera, so I'm very excited about that. And I am just scrolling to find the questions that I created to form the foundation of this conversation.
We're
Uh,
just going with the flow.
yes, we are. It's been one of those days.
hmm
Okay, and it's opening. Okay, so Surfing Your Edge, if you haven't been with us before, is basically about getting outside your comfort zone and um, trying new things always, so that you grow and experiment and get comfortable becoming uncomfortable. And the reason I wanted to have Lianna on today is that we are all surfing a brand new edge right now that none of us as humans have ever really surfed before. So I thought she would be a great person to give some insight into how to manage these strange new times. Um, Lianna, do you want to tell us a little bit more about Got Next and Fearlessly You and your new collaboration, Soul of Humanity?
Sure. Um, Got Next, basic for those of you that don't know, I used to play basketball when I was younger, and that was my pure passion. That's what I really love to do. And as I went through life, I discovered that I was going through the motions in life. And at that particular point in time, I found my purpose and my passion, which was to help other people discover their own purpose and passion and get off the sidelines and into the game, and dare to live your passion. That's what Got Next Transformational Coaching is all about. Right now, with Got Next, I'm actually going through a total rebrand, and my website isn't even live yet, but it's coming. Um, and this time has provided me a lot of opportunity to get some things done that I really want to do. I also have Fearlessly You Apparel, which is an offshoot of my Got Next Transformational Coaching. And it's all about the mindset. It is clothing that has positive affirmations on it. And it's all about being your positively fearless self. You know, when we're born, we're not born into fear, but it's actually conditioned into us. And for me, with my coaching business, with this apparel business, everything is about energy. So the clothing you wear, the colors, the material, the messages that you wear on your clothing, all has to do with your energy. And right now, I've been doing pretty well with this particular line it's about because it's about energy, it's about raising your vibration so that you can maintain a positive mindset and keep your immune system up. It benefits your health and everything. So it's been good all the way around. And I'm glad that I can help people in that way. And I've also just started a collaboration with 5 other friends of mine on LinkedIn. We met through LinkedIn and we became really good friends. And we were involved in another project, which kind of led to Soul of Humanity, which we all are under this umbrella of sharing our light through our individual businesses and individual perspectives on the world. But collectively, we call ourselves a light collective because we shine our light in the hearts, minds, and souls of human beings, so that they can see their own light. And that is so extremely important in this particular day and time, because everything seemed to just coalesce and come together at exactly the right time. And so I'm really excited about uh, all three of the projects that I'm working on right now.
I am too. I'm so glad you're doing this work.
Thank you.
And I know you had a hard couple of years leading into this, and it seems like you were at the right place at the right time and ready to really hit the ground running when COVID sent the rest of us all running home. You were ready to surge forward and really start putting more of your light into the world, and I'm really glad that you were there and able to do
Thank you.
that. um, so I'm wondering how you've seen the you are the kind of person who is constantly surfing your edge, but this is a new edge for everyone, and I'm wondering how you've seen it show up in your life and in the lives of the people around you. What are you noticing about this particular time, and what might be the challenge of staying positive and keeping your energy and your immunity high right now?
Well, at first, I'm not going to lie, it was it because it's such a new and unique experience. I got into some anxiety a bit, but which is all part of life. The the main thing is not to get caught up in that momentum, because it'll keep going and going and going, and the deeper you get into it, the more it takes off. And being able to stop, breathe, and actually look at this moment and see it for what it is. And the way that I began to see it was that this is such a tremendous opportunity for us. I feel like the universe just said, stop, stop. There's too much going on in the world. There's too much momentum in the wrong direction. There's all this negativity, division, hatefulness. Everybody's caught up in this day-to-day grind, going to a job, uh, losing their identity, losing their purpose, losing their passion. And it's like, how long is it going to go on like that? And so, really, I started seeing the opportunity and the possibilities in the moment. And I was like, oh my gosh. Then I started being like a kid in a candy store. I was like, oh, I can get this done and this done. I had a book that I wanted to write, and I have put my passion and my time into that. I've been able to educate myself more, in terms of what it is I want to do to serve other people. So that's been extremely helpful. And I see it as a blessing. It's perception. It's okay. This is a time where we have this moment to transform our perception of the world and of ourselves, and how we are being in that world.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like really super excited about this particular time. Seems counter to what everyone else is thinking, but it's an exciting time.
I think that there is definitely a lot of possibility and potential and excitement in this great pause that we're in. That doesn't mean, of course, that we're not aware of the heartbreak and the you know the horrible things that are happening around the world, but we can't dwell
Absolutely.
in those. And I kind of have
Absolutely.
the same reaction you did when it first hit. I felt a huge stress on my body. It was, I think, just the unknown. What is this? What is it going to be like? How long is it going to last? All of that, and so I spent a lot of time in the first several weeks. Um, just pouring positive thoughts in, and no matter how many I poured in, that seemed like I was a leaky cup. There was still a hole in the bottom, and it was still just going through, and I was having a hard time focusing, and I was having a hard time holding on to the good. And I got up one night at 2 o'clock in the morning and actually mind mapped, got out a piece of paper and wrote opportunities in COVID in the center, and then just started drawing, writing and drawing out from that to kind of reset my mindset and try to get into a place where I could find the opportunities here. And I know it's hard to sometimes to stay there. It's not one of those things. Mindset. I think you and I have talked about this before, Lianna. Mindset isn't a once and done thing.
Exactly.
The set part of it, the mindset, you can't just set it and go. You have to constantly be resetting it and recalibrating and being aware of where it is. And we're definitely not saying that you won't have bad days, because I'm sure you've had some and I've had some, and but the opportunities are definitely there for us to use this time in a conscious way, right? To think about,
Yes.
what do we want to use our time for now, and what do we want to carry forward when the world does reopen? What parts of ourselves and our discoveries in this time do we want to take forward? Has there been anything that surprised you that you've discovered in this time?
You mean about myself or about other people?
Both, either.
Both.
Something that you're
Uh,
really expecting to see.
what I love to see, absolutely love to see, because I'm a huge lover and believer in humanity and the goodness in people, is how people have come together in this moment. Like you were saying, you're not going to have good days all the time. You're not. But if you can channel that energy into doing something good, that will take your mind off of all the heaviness of this moment. Um, so I love seeing what people in the community are doing, what they're doing with the kids in the community, uh, people out there making masks for healthcare providers, people like my neighbor across the street. She's been awesome. She has brought us, she works for a food bank, and she has brought us more bread, more cookies. It's a wonder I'm not about 50 pounds overweight right now. But it's wonderful to see people coming together in love instead of in hate and all this antagonistic behavior that's going on. So that has been one of my the true blessings, I think, in this moment. And then for me personally, it is another step for me to take off all my masks, get out of my ego, and into in more depth into what it is I want to do to help and serve other people, because this is a defining moment, I think, in our lives. It's a transformational moment. And, I know people talk about the glass being half full or half empty. It's like, how are you going to perceive this moment? And we could be all focused in the negative and watching the news. I have to take my mind off the news because it is depressing and it makes you afraid. And so I have chosen to surround myself with the people that I know love and support me and want to help me get to the next level and achieve my goals. I've chosen to do that. I've chosen to focus on the things that make me happy, that give me joy, that I find fun in doing. And that takes away all the heaviness again of the moment. So it's been really transformational for me. It's like put up or shut up, you know,
Yeah.
really get into what it is you want to do and really serve in the most powerful way possible.
Yes, and that's another thing. Since we are isolated from one another, it can be a challenge to figure out how can I help, you know.
Hmm.
But I wanted to, when I was hearing you speak, I wanted to remind people that creativity actually flourishes in restrictions. Like one of the reasons
Yes.
poets chose formal poetry as you know, to write in form was because those limitations, putting those limitations on you, actually make your brain work harder to find creative solutions. And I think we're in one of those times when we have to be more creative about, you know, how do we support each other and how do we find ways to be of service, because being of service is definitely one of those ways to help you up your energy really fast.
Absolutely. I
Um,
totally agree.
so have you had a specific challenge or okay, let me go back. Let's not go there. Let me go back to the bad days. How do you, when you are having a bad day, how do you manage that? And how, like, could you give us maybe 3 tips on how to deal with the negative emotions when they do set in?
Uh, well, I'll share what I do and what I would share with what I share with other people that are in my network and in my groups. Find the tools that work for you. Like I know what tools I have. It's my toolbox. It's my get out of that negative momentum toolbox. And so for me, I started meditating more in the mornings. For example, if you're fearful about having lost a job or you're laid off and your income isn't the same as it was, and you have all these bills surrounding you, you literally have to remove yourself from all of that lackful, fearful thinking and put yourself in a whole different vibration. And so I went on YouTube and I found something that I needed for myself, which was an abundant 21-day abundance meditation by Deepak Chopra, which is awesome because it's only like 10 minutes long, 10 to 15 minutes every morning. I do it before I get up. So, and abundance doesn't just mean money. Abundance is uh, everything in life, health, it can be wealth, it can be happiness, everything like that. So instead of focusing in the fear, I wanted to focus on abundance. So, and that's what I've shared with other people. And we've basically been giving tools back and forth to each other like that of different things we can do to keep our mindset in the place where we are attracting what we want and not caught up in the fear and all the resistance in the moment. So that's one thing that I do. And then the other thing is music. Again, there's a lot of different things on YouTube. Um, they have a lot of different music that you can tune into that actually helps uh, raise your immunity. It like clears your body of infection, and this is real stuff because again, it's energy. This is sound therapy. This is something that works to help get you recalibrated, and so I do that. I also I found some really nice incense. I have sage. I burn that. I play my music, and then I just go. I go inside myself, and I put myself in a room by myself, and I shut the door when I start to feel all those emotions, and I just recalibrate myself and put myself in a different mindset, one that takes me higher and not one that keeps me the same or takes me lower.
Right,
So that's, and I've started reading different, educating myself.
right.
It's like, what am I going to do in this moment that's going to help me? What books, and connecting with other people through various social media, getting on the phone and talking to people, all these Zoom meetings. I have not been alone one day since this thing started.
Right,
In
right.
fact, I'm busier now than I was before, so it's awesome. It's
That's
awesome.
fantastic. And
But you have to create those moments of well-being for yourself. That's a must, because that will transform you and it will keep you from being in the fear of the moment.
right. And I've heard a couple things in there I'd like to point out. Just one is that uh, our natural birthright is to be happy, regardless of what's going on around us. And we have the ability to put ourselves back there at any time, but it is a conscious choice, and you have to sometimes work harder at it than others. So, yes, definitely reach into your toolbox and find what works for you. One of the things that's been working for me right now is journaling. I used to journal all the time, and I felt like there was a little angel on my shoulder reading over it and going, oh, that's what she wants. Okay, we'll go make that happen. And I don't know what happened, why I stopped doing it. I think because I just thought it took too much time. But now I'm finding that if I'm spinning in a circle and feeling all low energy and worried or whatever, that grabbing my journal and writing my way through it is the fastest way to get myself moving again. So that's another tool that I've noticed. Um, I just really wanted to point out what you said about how you have to choose this. This is a conscious thing, and you have to take
Yes.
the time to take care of yourself first. Put your own oxygen mask on first, and then you can serve beyond yourself. But you have to take care of yourself first, and that's a really hard thing, I think, especially for women who are used to putting other people's needs first. And I know you have a small child with you, and is one of your daughters with you now too?
Both.
Oh, oh my
Both
gosh.
daughters. Yes.
Have a very full house
Yes.
going on.
Very full. Hmm.
Wow. Okay. Um, and I somehow let my iPad go to sleep, and I'm not sure what I was going to ask you next. um,
That is perfectly okay.
and if I were a good video editor, I could edit this out, but I'm not sure that I'll be able to manage that. So, Messenger is not opening. Oh, there we go. There we go. Okay. Um, so, we've kind of talked about the challenges, we've talked about the blessings, and it sounds like you said that you're using this time to educate yourself. And I'm wondering if there are days when you don't feel like you just don't wanna you
Yes.
don't want to surf that edge anymore. You just want to relax. Is there anything you do? I think we might have already touched on this, but is there anything that you do that helps you when you want to play small? Is there something that helps you go out and play a bigger game?
Um, oh gosh, and there's plenty of those days. Um, Really, what I do is, again, through my meditation, through my affirmations. I write positive affirmations as well every morning and every night before I go to bed. My I am meditation or affirmations, um, and just immersing myself in my work, in programs that I want to create, and things like that. So when I want to play small, I don't allow myself to stay there too long, because I start focusing on what it is that I want to do for the world. For
Mhm.
example, I sometimes it gets overwhelming, in all honesty, and I look at what other people are doing, because I think we all do this, and it's like social media can be overwhelming because you're looking at what other people are doing, and it's like, oh my gosh, how can I be a light in the middle of all this other light? and and the thing is, what I've discovered is the only thing that I can do is be myself.
Mhm.
I can only be my authentic self, give from my perspective and my story, what I have to give, and share that with the world, and not allow myself to be caught up in the overwhelm of wanting to be, think, or do like everyone else. The only way that I'm going to affect change is with the people who resonate with me and my story, because there's something that shines for them through me.
Mhm.
And so I literally just take the time to be my most authentic self, to stand in my truth. Like I've been doing a lot more video lately. Praise God that I'm able to do that. And I have just been being me. And actually, I've gotten a lot of feedback, a lot of really good feedback. And doing that process I just went through with you, I can only be me. I can share with you from my story, the power of my story, and the things that I've been through can light up a whole room, because I know that it's been transformational for people. And that makes me happy being able to serve in that way. So when I think about going small, I think just be you,
Mm.
just be your unique self. We were all born to share and express our uniqueness in the world, and we have to allow ourselves to do it. We can't be like everyone else. We can only be ourselves and go from there.
Right. That's excellent. Thank you so much for that. And that actually leads into another question that I asked you on our first interview, and it segues into that beautifully. And the question is, even in before all of this happened, I'd been doing a lot of mindset work and um, realizing that I had to be very conscious about how I wanted to show up in the world and what thoughts I was going to allow myself to think. And I was being conscious. I was consciously choosing me, choosing who I am, choosing to let myself come out as fully as possible, but also being very conscious about choosing how I show up in the world. And you said you have I am statements. And I think that that's a very similar thing where you're speaking into the world, I am this, and reminding yourself that that's how you want to show up in the world. Is that how you experience your I am statements? Is it something along those lines of choosing?
Yeah, it is along those lines. And I got to say, you've been very, you and I have had a few conversations, and you said something. I'm trying to remember exactly what you said in our last conversation, and it was about the way you showed up. Uh, I want to say it was something about surrendering to
Mm,
something.
yes, that has
And
been my
it
theme.
was so powerful. Yeah, it was so powerful for me. I was like, yes, that's exactly what you need to do. That it's about, for example, having I teach people how to have fun with fear.
Mm,
Like like in this moment, you talk about being uncomfortable. It's like I equate it to when we used to ride bikes and someone putting a stick in the spokes, and it's like bam. All of a sudden you're on that bike and everything's cool, and you're just riding along, and everything stops and you're thrown off the bike. That's kind of like this moment.
mm,
And so people don't know what to do with it, and they don't know how to be, because they're so used to the routine and the habits of the everyday that's normal. And so now we're not in normal anymore. So it's like, what's our normal going to look like for us individually? I don't think we can go back to that other normal, because we've been thrown out of our comfort zone in more ways than one. And it's like, how are we going to show up? What are we going to allow ourselves to do? What are we going to allow ourselves to be? And my thing is I want to show up with the gifts that I have been given, because I feel like I have been blessed with so many gifts that I've squandered over the years. I've not been a good steward of some of my opportunities. And so what are we going to do differently now in this transformational moment to change our way of being so that we can create our own new normal, not what everybody else thinks is normal, but what's normal for you individually.
I agree. I think that's fantastic. And I see that there is going to be a large push coming when we do start to reopen. It's going to come from the government. It's going to come from business. It's going to come from a lot of um, money centered.
Yes.
There's going to be a lot
Yeah.
of push to get back to normal. And I think we're going to have to remember who we want to be, who we've created ourselves
Yes.
to be in this time, and remember why we're making the choices that we're making, and carry them consciously into the future to create something where we can take better care of ourselves going forward.
Exactly. I totally agree. And what better time than now? We've never had this time. This is a beautiful time, even though there's a lot going on around, and God knows I have all the victims in my heart. And, there's so many people that are suffering right now, the homeless, not just that, people who are near homeless because of things that are going on.
Right,
But God knows I surrender. I surrender myself to the power of the source that lives within me to take care of me.
right,
And the ways that I know how to do that is to keep myself in as positive a mode as I can so that I can move from there and serve people that need help in this moment.
right. We have to keep our energy in order to maximize the gifts that we have been given and the opportunities that are around us. We have to stay in a mindset that's open to those things. The more
Yes,
afraid we get, the more focused we get on fear and what could happen, the more likely we are to miss those opportunities and to really create a worse outcome for ourselves than if we had just managed to stay open and see what
absolutely.
what could happen.
Absolutely, because fear shuts us down. Love opens us up. Love opens your heart and your core. And
Right.
one of the big things that I teach is getting people reconnected to their core, core for me is your center of radiant energy, which is your heart. And because we've been so disconnected, it was like it's time to slow down, and get reconnected with yourself, your inner being. Uh, it's so important that we do that in this moment because, people have things that they want to do. They want to find their purpose. They have dreams and goals that they put on the shelf to chase everything that the materialism, the money, everything. And God, we give up so much of our lives to that. And so now it's like this is a tremendous opportunity to shift, to
Mhm.
make the shift and change your perspective and change your whole way of being. But again, like we were talking earlier, it is a conscious choice. What do you want? What do you want? And how are you going to show up for it? Are you going to be accountable to yourself for it? Are you going to make the choice to change? Because you can go back to the same way things were, and right now, a lot of people are victim to their circumstances because they have jobs that uh, they have no control over. Or right now, in this moment, you can sit and think about ways you can create different revenue streams for yourself online. Oh my God, there's so much information out there and so many people that are willing to help you. And if you don't have money, there's people that are willing to help you at no charge.
Mhm.
People are so giving in this moment. There's no excuse for not obtaining what it is that you want to obtain in this moment. I've seen the beauty of humanity in
Yeah.
this moment.
And it's funny that you say that. It's actually one of the reasons why I'm busier now than ever is because people are being so generous that I want to consume all of the the great advice that's going
Yeah,
on out there, and it's just like, I can't get it all in. Yeah,
I
it's
know the feeling. It's awesome though.
it really is awesome. And I know that you have something that you would like to share with the audience. Do you want to speak a little bit about what that is? And then I will post a link to it in the comments.
Yes, yeah, I have a program as part of my Got Next transformational coaching called Mindset Fitness. I'm also a mindset fitness coach, and it's called Mindset Fitness: The Benefits of Tuning, Toning, and Stretching Your Mind. And it talks about what your mindset is, why it's so important to shift it, why it's so important to look at yourself and become self-aware of the things that are limiting you and keeping you stuck, so that you can move forward in a different way and see all the possibilities and opportunities for your life. So this goes through what the benefits of that, of tuning, toning, and stretching your mind are. Like our brain, our mind is a muscle. We have to flex it. We have to stretch it. We have to, you know, do all those things to educate it, and uh, we have to bring our heart into it as well. So the heart and the mind connection is all part of this as well. So this infographic goes into some of that, and I have a lot more information for people once they look at that, uh, if it really strikes um, something within them that they would
Great.
like to find out more about it.
And if they wanted to get in touch with you, what's the best place to find out more information about who you are and what you're doing?
Uh, my website is coming. It'll probably be live before the end of next week. I also have, because I'm rebranding, and you can get me on LinkedIn at Lianna Gardner, and you'll see my Got Next information on there as well. And it's Lianna Gardner. That's where you can find me on LinkedIn. I also am on Instagram under Got Next. I am on Facebook under Lianna Got Next Gardner, as well as I have a, please join my Electrify Your Vibe tribe, because that has a lot of good information about keeping your vibration higher and keeping you in that spirit of transformation and love, self-love.
Yes.
Um, and those are the main places that you can reach me right now.
Okay. Well, that sounds really great. And I have really enjoyed our conversation. I knew I would. And I'm just wondering, anything that you wish I had brought up and asked, or if there's anything that you'd like to add to the conversation to kind of round it out.
I just mainly am so passionate about people in this moment, seeing it for what it is and seeing it for something that can benefit to them, and not necessarily look at it as this hugely negative situation, because there's possibilities and opportunities in everything. And I
Mhm.
just want them to see that, reach out to the people, connect. God knows, if you don't have a job, or if you want to take yourself to another level, go to different social media, connect with wonderful people like Kristine and myself, and people who are here to share information with you and serve you and take you to another level. Because staying in that mode is what's going to keep you going, and keep your immune system functioning properly, and keep your well-being up, keep it in that higher vibration. So that's really important right now. uh, Transformation. It's a moment of transformation.
Right. And you made a really good connection there between mind and body. You've got to keep your energy level, your mental energy level up in order to keep your body's energy level up and to stay healthy. And I think that's really, it's all one thing. We like to separate it,
Absolutely.
and it's all one thing.
Absolutely. I have a saying that's called honor your sacred triad. And for me, the triad is the body, mind, spirit. And so when you're honoring that, you're keeping all that in balance. And right now you want balance. Balance yourself, and that will help keep you healthy, keep you well. It'll move you forward in a completely different way. And instead of being focused in the fear, you'll be focused in your love and self love, and find ways to serve so that you can. It just creates such a well balanced way of being. And that's my passion, that's my heart, and that's what I hope people are getting from this moment.
Lovely. Thank you so much, Lianna. I have enjoyed this conversation. I am wishing you wonder. I'm wishing all of you wonder, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. And we will be back next week with another conversation. So thank you again, Lianna. It was so wonderful. I will include links to your spaces where we can find you, and also to your fitness infographic. I'm really looking forward to seeing that myself. So thank you,
Awesome.
everybody.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you.